And now, Fairfax Breakfast Club with your host, Basil Lemba.
Hello, my name is Basil Lemba and welcome to the Fairfax Breakfast Club. This is a program in which we bring you practical networking concepts and other valuable information you can use to truly expand your business. We always start it with a quote, and the quote of today is, "What is the difference between a salesman and a networker? A salesman look at the client and make a sale and maybe ask for a referral. Whereas the networker look at his fellow man as well as all the connection he may have. In other words, the networker looks at the tree but also the whole forest behind it." We are fortunate to have with us today a very good networker. Her name is Stephanie Reger of Reger Biz Realty. So Stephanie, why don't you introduce yourself and talk a bit about your business?
Thank you very much, Basil. It's a pleasure to be here with you. And I work in real estate and I also work in business brokerage. And I kind of marry these disciplines together, and I do that through a number of different vehicles, but I have to say that networking is one of my predominant vehicles that I do to get my name out there and meet people, try to get referrals, and certainly try to acquire listings and even represent people too in their searches, whether it's real estate or business brokerage.
Gotcha. Excellent. So now a question I have for you is, what is your biggest success in networking?
You know, I could say it's all the listings, but it really, for me, success is defined by building ongoing relationships. Mm-hmm. Sure, I do get the listings, I do get the business, and some of the dollar amounts naturally are higher than others. Mm-hmm. But I look at it from the approach of it's connecting to the people. Mm-hmm. And growing these relationships over the years, because that most assuredly will continue to yield results and more business. And it makes getting the business easier because mm-hmm. people think of you more on a personal level. Gotcha. Once you get to know them. Mm-hmm. So that's really the key. That's what makes it successful, and that's how I define it as successful.
Okay, very good, excellent. And now what would be your biggest challenge?
Well, biggest challenge is when you go to, and I go to many networking meetings, is to really try to determine which ones are really yielding you the results. Mm-hmm. And I don't take it from the approach of, what's in it for me, because I think that's a bad mindset. Even though ultimately that's what you're somewhat driving for, yeah. But if you take that approach, I think it's counterproductive. Gotcha. I take it more of build a relationship, nurture it, mm-hmm. get to know the people, mm-hmm. let them know what you can contribute, and show them examples of the brochures and product that I develop, which makes me unique. Mm-hmm. So sort of demonstrate to these folks my uniqueness, and then continue to build friendships. Mm-hmm.
Very good. And you talk a little bit about your brochure. You have the brochure. I think we can see it over here in the back. Tell us a bit more about your brochure that you have.
Sure. Well, I do a lot of individual marketing brochures and pieces, but this actually is another item that I produce, which is an actual magazine, sort of a coffee table magazine that includes an article that I write on the back cover that continues on the very back cover, mm-hmm. which I also use that as an opportunity to display the listings too for the sellers and the owners and so forth of these properties. So it's sort of a multifaceted, soft marketing approach, and mm-hmm. the other articles throughout have nothing to do with real estate usually. Gotcha. Usually it's the full gamut of topics.
Gotcha. Excellent. Mm-hmm. So now what advice would you give to somebody networking?
Do what I do and have the same mindset, which mm-hmm. is, and you can go the route of some of the more intense marketing, networking types of approaches, which is where you're really, truly held accountable for the leads and have to produce sort of under a quota system leads. And that's certainly someone might be interested in that, and I'm not saying that's bad, and I've done that in the past. But what I think has been effective for me in the last couple of years is to go to a lot of different networking events, and that's where I keep bumping into you, for instance.
Unfortunately.
That's very fortunate, because you and I have become friends that way, and that's the point. See what that's yielded us. And so there's some spin-off opportunities for us that we're getting ready to get involved in
Absolutely.
in 2012 together. And I've gotten to know you that much better in a number of different environments. So for me, that's what works. I just use a multi-pronged approach of many networking groups. And, you know, that's good because people keep seeing your face out there. And then from there, the business flows into you.
Gotcha. Now, what I want to ask you, how did you come to that way of doing networking?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because I was heavily involved at one time with just one organization. And I felt like I had an albatross around my neck. Which sometimes you can get that way. You can get so bogged down. And the group kept shrinking. And I thought that was a detriment too. So I was happy when this opportunity sort of landed upon me to, I just finally just analyzed this whole situation and determined one day that, you know, I needed to branch out and really spread my wings more into the community and do more chamber functions. And then, like I said, I was so blessed to meet you through the Breakfast Club, which is by far my most favorite networking endeavor. It is, because it's been such a pleasure to meet you, and it's so pleasant. The location's terrific. So there's so many things that I like about that particular one, and that's what's appealing.
Okay. For those who are wondering what Stephanie is talking about, we host a monthly event in Fairfax at the Old Town Hall, 3999 University Drive, every second or third Thursday of the month. The next one will be on January the 26th from 7:30 a.m. to 9. So you're all welcome to come, and I think you'll see the number on our screen there, which is 703-359-5642. Or you can also visit our website at blnbc.com, or the website you see on the screen there. So you are all welcome. You can come and join us and have that much fun with Stephanie.
We love it. Definitely. We have a good time. We get business done and we have a good time too. So those are great objectives and things I look for too that make a networking experience very rewarding.
Absolutely. And also tell us about your experience at the last business expo we had on December 2nd.
Oh, I loved it. It was my first participation, and it was a great, I loved it. That was the first time I'd ever put together a table / booth for myself. And, you know, in gathering up and putting together the materials and ordering the big banner and so forth. And it was very rewarding, and I definitely look forward to more events like that, and I know it's growing for you, and folks really speak highly of it, and definitely met some other vendors and wished I'd gotten around to all of them, but you had some great vendors there, and I think that too is a great exposure opportunity.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, it is great. We had about over 100 exhibitors, and in fact, we ran out of parking space. So we have so many guests coming, so now we have to go into another bigger location. But yes, it was a lot of fun. And I think it's always good if you can bring the business owners together and create a space for them and let them network. Let them play the game they want to play. So that's definitely a key thing that I can see. Now, what do you see in your future?
Bright things, good things. I think, again, because the networking, it will provide me more opportunities, and certainly can follow up with some of the leads I got from your expo, too. They're still sitting on my desk as we get into the year here. So, yeah, I'm very excited about it. And now that I have the connection, too, and have done my first expo and already signed up for my second one here in May.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I really look forward to getting to know some of the other vendors a little better, too. I've got to make more of an opportunity. But as the public comes through as well, we'll have more handouts and things, and we'll continue to promote those listings. And I think it's a win-win.
Definitely. Now, you got the list of all the attendees, so the exhibitors, I believe.
Yeah, I did.
Yes. So that's a way for you. Definitely have the opportunity to follow up with them.
And they've been following up with me as well. So they've been very diligent.
I guess that's the name of the game. Everybody's taking advantages of the meeting there, absolutely.
Very much so. So that's good for them.
Okay.
Yeah, my email box is getting full. It's all good. Yeah.
Okay, now tell me, I would love to find out from you, what is entrepreneurship for you? Having your own business, what does that mean for you?
It gives you a lot of freedom, you know. In my case, you know, my mother is out of town, so I need to be able to scoot away to see her occasionally, you know, and then with the other aspects too, it allows you to time manage your own endeavors and to sort of have, again, more freedom and then also more control of your destiny too as you put together these various transactions. And ultimately, you know, again, I'm relationship focused, so I'm trying to really, when I meet one person, I want to be able to help them with their commercial, residential, or even their business opportunities, all in one, once I get that relationship established with that one person, rather than farming it out to a number of different people. So that's what I envision.
Okay, excellent. Now I have my next question to you is, tell us how can I say that? The president, I guess, is the State of the Union, and tell us the state of the real estate.
Oh my goodness! Wow, what a loaded question.
Well, I didn't mean it.
That's okay. I think, well, we're so blessed here in the Washington area. I will blanket it with that, because when I talk to other people or even see other areas, even in the other areas of the state, it's so different than here in the Washington area. We still have some depressed aspects to, for instance, I'll use the commercial arena first because that's primarily what I'm working in. And so I hope that the small businesses will continue to thrive or return to profitability, because that's sort of the weak link that I'm seeing right now. And a lot of people are not purchasing at this stage when I think that they should be, because it's a fantastic time to buy a small commercial pieces of real estate. So, but we've still got to instill confidence into these small business owners so that they're, you know, feel confident enough to make these types of investments and that their businesses will thrive. So, you know, we still are very much dependent on the government and our, you know, political officials, and we've got to do things to still make, you know, small business a lucrative enough type of venture for these entrepreneurs. So that's, you know, for other entrepreneurs too, it's we still need to focus on them a lot, because that will feed the real estate market. And residential, I think it's seeing a definite upturn and holding its own. That's definitely a bright spot, I think, for a normal sale in most markets in Northern Virginia, even over to DC and Maryland too. So that's probably one of the brighter spots right now, where houses are once again getting sold in a relatively short period of time. And you know, I know there's more foreclosures going to be released by the banks into the marketplace, and they're holding them back perhaps, but I do see a lot of glimmers there along those lines. And appraisal values are holding their own. They're not declining as rapidly. In some cases, there's appreciation once again too. So I'm seeing that. That's a very positive trend on the residential real estate side. Business brokerage, my third element that I work with, that's again still be a real tricky element, because folks are very cautious as they look at pre-existing businesses to purchase. And they're picking them apart, every aspect. If the rent's too high, for instance, then they'll automatically eliminate a business. And a lot of cases, the rents are still fairly high because they locked in 3 or 4 years ago when rents were still high. So unfortunately, that lease is still in place. So again, it's an interesting mix there, and certainly some challenges, but you work through all of those and hopefully try to be able to work with people as they analyze the viabilities of these various aspects.
Okay. So you think 2012 is going to be a much better year?
I won't say much better, and if you listen to the proponents, 2011 was better than 2010, and 2010 was better than 2009. I think it's going to be a very modest improvement along those lines. And even last year, even last quarter, I saw an upturn in commercial real estate, which made me happy. And the agents in our office were experiencing the same thing too. Again, not super robust, but at least you're seeing people making decisions and taking decisive actions, whereas they kind of weren't earlier in the year quite as much. So I'm hoping that will, and I understand from the pundits that will continue to be the case in 2012.
Okay. Very good. Excellent. Now, to get back to networking, why don't you tell us what those organizations, the places where you go to network?
Oh, okay. Well, first off and foremost, I go to the Breakfast Club. I go to another group, and I don't know that she has a formal name. She is affiliated with a title company, and we get together over at one of the restaurants in Reston and share listings there.
Okay.
And I've actually two different gals in the same restaurant. I've actually go with that group. And then there's another women's.
Different groups?
Two different groups.
They just get to, oh, really?
But
The
it's
same
very coincidental that it's the same place.
All right.
Yeah. So that's one. And then, as I was telling you, the chamber, the Loudon Chamber. And I'm also getting ready to consider, say, like the Reston Chamber or, some of the other chambers in Fairfax. So chamber type networking is good. I've been to the Vienna Chamber as a guest, and I also saw you there. So some of these groups, and there are additional groups out there, and you can find them on Meetup, like with commonalities. You can even take it to a different level where some other interests that you may have, then you can start affiliating with them, and then you also share listings and information with those types of groups as well. Unfortunately, one of the groups disbanded that I began with at the beginning of 2011, so I'm looking to sort of replace that group again. That was sort of a meetup type of thing. Gotcha. So you can always replace it with another group and always evaluate what's working and what you want to be affiliated with.
Very good. That's good. Excellent.
Okay.
So now tell me, when you are not networking, what do you do for fun?
My husband and I take care of another weekend type property. It's in a boating community. So we're always playing with our perpetual money pit and doing water sports and trying to relax. And it's not too far from the DC area, so we do that. And also, I don't have that much time for a whole lot of extra activities, but also some spiritual types of things. I'm committed to doing that on the weekends as well. So that's very enriching in my life. So I would say those are the top two, and then have time for an occasional movie here and there.
Absolutely. Now, talking about what do you read, or what would do you recommend as food for thought, material-wise?
Probably material. I mean, certainly the Washington Business Journal, the Wall Street Journal, and the newspapers. I'm reading a Diane Keaton book right now, as far as that goes, and another little real estate book talking about how to weather the trends in the current marketplace and to be successful no matter whether it's a buyer or seller's marketplace. So those are the types of books that I'm reading right now, and I'm always reading periodicals and tune into the news all the time. That's the easy fix. But again, staying very, very informed.
Okay, so the trend then in real estate, so commercial is moving, eating bit by bit, but residential is doing much better.
Yeah, it is. Residential is the bright spot in the area.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. When did you get in this area?
I've been in this area overall, if you add up all the years, 25 years approximately.
Okay.
So many, many years. I did move away for a short period about 10 years ago for a couple of years, but I came back because I like the robustness of the area and all my friends. And you have so much fun. There's so many opportunities
Yes.
here all the way around too on the casual side of things. So I think it's a it's got a lot of opportunities, fun and workplace wise all the way around, and that's what's appealing to me.
Yeah, very good, excellent. All right. So now we're gonna we have the expo coming up in May, and then we have another one in December. We're working on that. In fact, one of the things that I'll tell the whole crew, one of the things we have at breakfast, we also have a section on education. Today the theme is about networking, the difference between salesmen and networking. I'm very amused because I just had an experience actually. Somebody that I contacted and asked to come to the expo for years, and they just never came. And then they changed company, they went to another company, and all of a sudden they call me and they want to see me, they want to talk to me. But it was interesting because I was kind of like, in a way, annoyed. I'm trying to bring you in and never return my call, what have you, and then all of a sudden you are in a pinch, you need, you want me, and I have to come right now. Yesterday, I'm talking about it because it's really what aligns with what you mentioned. So I felt very strange, and I said to myself, should I really go and meet with that person after they ignoring my calls and never returning my call? And then we set up a meeting, which I agreed in having because, there's networking, you never know.
Right.
There's what doors is there, you just, okay, fine, you go and see, and then after that, you draw your own conclusion. So I'm at house, and 10 p.m., the guy called me, oh, you coming tomorrow? I'm like, it's 10 p.m. I mean, like, I wish it was that hot when I was trying to get him to come and work with us.
Exactly.
And participate. And then finally, which I went there the next day. And I went to meet him at their place, and they were not there.
Oh, no.
That was very scary. Apparently something happened, and then he sent somebody to come and meet with me. The person came and I met the person, what have you. But this is the kicker. In visiting their place, I found it being a very remarkable place.
Their place of employment?
Yes.
So
And the
how
location, the
so do
conference
you
room
think
and
it's remarkable?
The conference room and what have you. I mean, I have somebody, for example, contacting me right now. They're trying to come to do a seminar. They're looking for a conference room. And that would be the perfect place for them to do it. I'm saying the strangeness, quote unquote, of it all. In the sense that you never know what's going to turn up and
Absolutely.
how and when it's going to turn up.
That is very, very true. And that's also the approach that I have too in my meanderings, because even if you do a small deal with somebody, that can lead to something really big because they'll put in a good word for you. So, and it's the same sort of idea that you see with your opportunity there as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yes, salesman, as we say, sells something, and if he's sophisticated, he asks for a referral. But a networker, he's just building the relationship with people.
That's exactly right.
Yes. Seeing how he can help people, what have you, that's what it's all about.
That's
It's totally, completely different from sales.
Right.
In networking, you help the person. That's all you do. And I do believe that what makes it works, actually, there is a simple principle, which is what goes around comes around.
I was just thinking that when you said that. You took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah. Really, what goes
But
around?
it's very, very true.
Yes.
It is absolutely true.
But I think the challenge is, I may be wrong, I think the challenge for most people is to believe in it. To truly believe that what goes around comes around.
And you can call it that, or you can call it karma, but it's true. It is very, very true because, and I apply that same principle in so many other smaller things, and I have a whole lot of good luck with a lot. And it's very true because I give, and when I give, later on down the road, most of the time, I get back so much more than what I ever gave to begin with. And if you have that kind of givingness in your personality, and that's whether you're in a business environment like that, or even personally, it all comes back to you in a favorable way.
Right.
And I'm very, very lucky, and a lot of people